Valerius keeps me in this house like a broken jewel in a velvet box. For 19 weeks, I've been sipping his rose tea, believing he is my savior, believing his cold hands are the only thing holding me together. But today, a secret call from my physical therapist turned my sanctuary into a crime scene. The X-rays just came back, and they tell a story the shadows tried to hide. My ankle didn't break when I hit the stage. It was snapped. Cleanly, mechanically, deliberately. Valerius didn't save me from the fall. He broke me to ensure I could never leave, just like the 7 other dancers hidden in his locked room. The velvet settee holds me like a jewel box cradles a broken trinket. My ankle rests on a silk pillow the color of old blood, elevated precisely as Valerius instructed. The afternoon light filters through stained glass windows, casting patterns across my skin, ruby, sapphire, amber, painting me in colors that don't belong to me anymore. I shift my weight and the pain flares, white hot and immediate. 3 weeks since the fall, 3 weeks since the stage became a trapdoor beneath my feet. The house breathes around me. Old wood settling, wind against leaded glass. Somewhere deeper in the manor, Valerius moves through rooms I've never entered, his footsteps silent as thought. He's always silent. I didn't notice that before I needed him. My phone sits on the side table, face down. I've learned to keep it that way. The screen's glow bothers him, he says. The modern world intrudes on our sanctuary, he says. And I believed him because his voice makes everything sound like poetry, like reason, like love. The brace around my ankle itches beneath the compression wrap. Medical grade, Valerius assured me. Better than what the hospital would provide. He'd know he's lived long enough to see medicine evolve from leeches to laser surgery. That's what he told me on our 3rd date, laughing at his own joke about immortality, while I laughed too, thinking it charming, thinking it metaphor. I reach for my water glass. My hand trembles slightly. Low blood sugar, probably. I've been sleeping so much lately. Healing takes energy. Valerius reminds me each evening when he brings my dinner on a tray. Always something rich. Always something that leaves me drowsy. The glass is empty. I don't remember drinking it all. Footsteps on the stairs now. His footsteps, though I only know because the air changes, becomes denser, sweeter. He wears cologne that smells like churches and closed books. My darling. Valerius enters carrying a silver tray. Steam rises from a porcelain cup. I've made your tea. The blend with arnica and willow bark, for the inflammation. He's beautiful in the way that old paintings are beautiful, perfect and untouchable, and somehow wrong when you look too long. His suit is pressed to knife edges, not a hair out of place in that dark sweep across his forehead. He sets the tray down with the care of someone handling religious artifacts. You didn't need to, I say, but my voice comes out softer than I intend. Grateful, dependent. Of course I did. He settles beside me, lifting my injured foot with both hands. His fingers are cool even through the wrap. Let me see how you're progressing. He unwraps the compression bandage with the patience of someone who has endless time. The brace comes next. My ankle looks pale and slightly swollen, a watercolor bruise still visible along the bone. Better, he murmurs, pressing gently along the joint. Much better. You're healing perfectly, my love. But it doesn't feel better. It feels wrong, a deep, grinding ache that shouldn't still be there after 3 weeks. I opened my mouth to say this yesterday and the day before, but each time his eyes met mine with such certainty, such care, that the words dissolved. I thought maybe I should see someone. I venture now, a specialist. Just to make sure, Isolde. My name in his mouth sounds like a prayer and a warning. Do you doubt me? No, I've seen centuries of healing, bones knitting, flesh mending. I would never let harm come to you. His thumb traces my ankle bone. The modern medical system would have you in surgery, inserting pins and plates, turning you into a patchwork. Is that what you want? The tea sends up tendrils of bittersweet steam. I should drink it. I should be grateful. He's taken time off from his work, whatever mysterious work he does in that locked study, to care for me. He's opened his home. He's been nothing but devoted. So why does my chest feel tight? Drink, he says gently, handing me the cup. Before it cools, I drink. The liquid coats my throat, warm and herbal and slightly metallic. Within minutes, the familiar drowsiness begins its slow crawl through my limbs. My phone buzzes. The sound cuts through the room's thick quiet, like a blade through silk. Valerius's expression doesn't change, but something in the air shifts. Pressure dropping before a storm. I'll get it, he says. It's probably just, but he's already moving, already lifting the phone from the table. His thumb swipes across the screen with the presumption of someone who has every right. Hello? His voice remains velvet smooth, but there's steel underneath now. A warning to whoever's on the other end. I can hear the voice through the speaker. Male, urgent, Casimir. My physical therapist, the one I saw twice before Valerius suggested I'd heal better with rest, with his care, with distance from the outside world's harsh fluorescent lights and impersonal hands. Need to speak with Isolde immediately. The X-rays came back from... I'm afraid she's resting, Valerius interrupts. His eyes lock on mine. She's been in considerable pain. I don't think disturbing her is wise. The X-rays show. Casimir's voice rises, fighting to be heard. Fracture pattern is wrong. It's not consistent with a fall. Someone would have had to. Valerius's finger hovers over the end call button. Wait, I say, pushing myself upright, despite the way the room tilts. I want to talk to him, but Valerius is already speaking over Casimir's words. Thank you for your concern. We'll be in touch if we need anything further. Professional, dismissive, final, deliberately broken. Casimir's words punch through just before the call ends. Police need to. Silence crashes back into the room. My heart hammers against my ribs. Deliberately broken. The words echo in the space between us, in the dust motes suspended in stained glass light, in the sudden clarity that cuts through the tea's drowsy haze. What did he say? My voice sounds strange, distant, like it's coming from someone else's throat. Valerius sets the phone down with careful precision. Medical alarmism. They see liability in everything now. He's concerned about his practice, not your well-being. He said deliberately. The word tastes like copper, like blood. He said the fracture pattern. He said you're healing well and to continue your current treatment. Valerius's smile doesn't reach his eyes. It never has, I realize now. Which is exactly what I've been telling you. But I heard what I heard. Deliberately broken. Police. I look at my ankle, at the discoloration that's lingered too long, at the angle that's never quite right when I try to flex. I look at the empty water glass, at the tea that makes me sleep, at the phone now face down again on the table. I look at Valerius, at his perfect face, and his perfect suit, and his perfectly manicured hands that touched my ankle that night. That caught me when I fell. That held me so carefully as I screamed, that were already there, already reaching. Before I even started to fall. You're right, I hear myself say. The smile I give him feels like a mask, like stage makeup, like armor. I should rest more. Trust the process. His shoulders relax minutely. That's my good girl. The endearment scrapes against my spine like fingernails on bone. He rewraps my ankle with those cool, careful hands while I sit perfectly still, perfectly compliant, perfectly trapped in this velvet room with its stained glass light and its locked doors and its monster who looks like a prince. And I smile, and I plan, and I wait. The days blur into a careful choreography of deception. I sleep when he watches. I wince when he expects pain. I lean on the cane he bought me, ebony with a silver handle shaped like a swan's neck, and I let him see weakness. Every morning he brings breakfast on a lacquered tray, poached eggs, toast cut into triangles, the tea that tastes of roses and something underneath, something bitter that clings to my teeth. I drink it now in small sips, letting most of it cool untouched while he's in his study, pouring it into the potted orchid by the window when I'm alone. The orchid is dying. Its leaves have turned the color of old bruises. My ankle, meanwhile, is healing. Not the way Valerius thinks. Not the fragile, dependent healing he's been cultivating with his cold compresses and his careful massage and his pills that make the room swim. Real healing. The kind that comes from the exercises Casimir texted me, from the resistance bands I hide beneath the mattress, from the hours I spend when Valerius leaves for his business meetings, doing the small, agonizing work of rebuilding what was broken. 3 weeks since the doctor's visit. 3 weeks of playing doll while my body remembers what it means to be strong. The apartment feels smaller every day. Valerius has stopped mentioning when I might leave. The conversation has shifted, subtle as stage lighting, from when you're better to now that you're here to yesterday. I've been thinking about converting the second bedroom into a proper studio for you. Something intimate. Private. The word private landed in my chest like a stone in deep water. I'm in the bathroom when my phone buzzes. The door is locked. The only door in this place I'm still allowed to lock, and I've learned to keep the water running to create the sound of normalcy. Steam clouds the mirror as I check the screen. Casimir, tomorrow, 2 p.m. He'll be at the gallery opening downtown. I checked his calendar. My hands shake as I type back. How did you, Casimir? Sir. Don't ask. Can you walk well enough? Really walk. I look down at my ankle. The swelling is almost gone. The discoloration has faded to a yellowish ghost. When I flex, there's still pain, but it's the clean pain of healing tissue, not the grinding wrongness of the first weeks. Me. Yes. Casimir. Coffee shop on Amsterdam. The one with the blue awning. I'll bring everything. Isolde. Valerius's voice through the door, honey smooth. Are you all right in there? I delete the messages with fingers gone clumsy, flush the toilet, turn off the water. Fine. Just a moment. When I open the door, he's standing closer than he should be, close enough that I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. They're the color of smoke today, or maybe they've always been that color, and I'm only now seeing it clearly, seeing how little warmth lives behind them. You were in there a while. Not quite a question, not quite an accusation. My ankle was bothering me. I was massaging it. The lie comes easily now. I've had practice. His gaze drops to my foot, to the ankle he broke, and has been so carefully maintaining in its broken state. Something flickers across his face, satisfaction maybe, or hunger. Let me see. We go through the ritual, the couch, the silk pillow, his cool hands unwrapping the bandage he insists I still wear. His fingers probe the joint with clinical precision, and I let the appropriate amount of pain show on my face. Not too much, that would concern him, make him hover more, just enough to confirm his narrative. Still tender, he murmurs. But improving, slowly, slowly. The word is a leash. I've been thinking, I say, and I let my voice carry the weight of careful consideration, of a decision reached in isolation. About what you said, the studio, his hand still on my ankle. Yes, it's generous, really generous. But I don't want to be a burden. Maybe I should start looking at my own place. Something with an elevator, close to physical therapy. No. The word comes too fast, too sharp. He catches himself, smooths his expression back into something benevolent. That is, there's no rush. You're not a burden, Isolde. He pauses, and his thumb traces a circle on my ankle bone, right over the place where it broke. You're exactly where you should be. The room feels airless. The stained glass window throws red and blue shadows across his face, and for a moment he looks like something from a medieval painting. A saint, maybe, or a demon. Of course, I say. I just don't want to overstay. You couldn't. His smile is perfect. His eyes are empty. I'll have the contractors come next week. We'll make it beautiful. Everything you need, right here. That night, I wait until his breathing evens out in the bedroom across the hall. He's never tried to share my bed, and I'm beginning to understand that this restraint is part of the game, part of the cultivation, and then I do my exercises. Calf raises holding onto the dresser. Ankle circles. The resistance band work that makes my whole leg tremble with effort. I bite down on a folded towel to keep silent, and I count, and I push through the pain until sweat soaks through my nightgown. The next morning, I'm visibly limping when he brings breakfast. He notices, he approves. At 1:30, he kisses my forehead before he leaves. His lips are cold. I'll be back by 6. Rest. I'll bring dinner from that Italian place you like. I've never told him I like Italian food, but he's decided I do, so I smile and nod, and watch from the window as his black car pulls away from the curb. I'm dressed and out the door in 5 minutes. The coffee shop is crowded, warm, loud with the hiss of espresso machines and the chatter of people living normal lives. I spot Casimir in the back corner, and the relief that floods through me is so intense, it's almost painful. He looks solid and real in his worn jacket, his therapist's hands wrapped around a paper cup, and when he sees me his whole face transforms with something that might be hope or might be fear. "You're walking better," he says as I slide into the chair across from him. "Don't." I glance around, irrational paranoia making my skin prickle. He could have someone watching. He doesn't. I checked. Casimir pushes a folder across the table, but we need to move fast. I found something. The folder contains printouts. News articles mostly, dated over the past 15 years. I scan the headlines, and my stomach turns to ice. Asterisk promising. Ballerina vanishes. After performance, asterisk dead dancer's body. Found in Hudson River. There are photos. Young women, all of them beautiful, all of them dancers, different companies, different cities. But the pattern is there once you see it, once you're looking. 7, Casimir says quietly. That I could confirm. There might be more. They all... He stops, swallows. They all had ankle injuries before they disappeared. Fractures, sprains, and they all had the same doctor, Dr. Renfield. The name tastes like ash. He's on Valerius's payroll, has been for 20 years, And look at this. He pulls out another page. This one, a property record. Valerius owns a building upstate. Old estate. Very private. I called the local police department on a hunch. Told them I was doing a background check. The officer I spoke to got quiet when I mentioned the address. Said there'd been rumors for years. Sounds. Screaming. Maybe. But too far away to be sure. No one's ever gotten a warrant. The coffee shop noise fades to a dull roar. I'm staring at the faces of the dead girls, and I'm seeing myself. Seeing the future Valerius has planned, the one where I become another headline, another mystery, another dancer who simply disappeared. We go to the police, I say. Now today. Casimir's expression is anguished. With what? Circumstantial evidence and a hunch. He's wealthy, Isolde. Connected. His lawyers would bury this before we finished giving our statement, and then he'd know you were trying to leave. So what do we do? He leans forward, and his voice drops to barely a whisper. We get proof. Real proof. Something undeniable. How? The estate. If he's keeping trophies, records, anything, it would be there. Not in the city apartment where cleaning staff come through. Somewhere private. I think of the locked door in Valerius's study, the one he's never explained, never opened in my presence. There's a room, I say slowly. In the apartment, he keeps it locked. Casimir's eyes widen. Can you get in? I don't know. Maybe. He has keys in his bedroom, in the top drawer of his dresser. I've seen them. I've catalogued everything in that apartment, every exit, every potential weapon, every detail that might matter when the moment comes. Then that's where we start. He reaches across the table, and his hand is warm over mine, human and alive and real. But Isolde, you have to be careful. If he suspects, I know. I do know. I've seen the way Valerius looks at me sometimes when he thinks I'm sleeping, like I'm something precious and breakable, like I'm already his. We plan for another 20 minutes, speaking in low voices, and then I have to go. Have to get back before 6, before Valerius returns with his Italian food and his cold smile and his questions about how I spent my day. The walk back takes longer than it should. My ankle is aching, the good ache of overuse rather than injury, but I force myself to limp as I approach the building. The doorman nods at me with something that might be pity. I wonder what story Valerius has told him. What narrative he's constructed to explain the young woman who never leaves, who's always at his side, who's fading a little more each day. Inside the apartment, everything is exactly as I left it. The breakfast dishes are still on the counter. Valerius doesn't like me cleaning up, says I should rest, but really he wants me dependent, wants me to need him for every small thing. I wash them anyway, carefully, and I'm drying the last plate when I hear it. A phone ringing. Not my phone. My phone is in my pocket, silent. This is coming from somewhere else, somewhere close. The study. I follow the sound on instinct, forgetting to limp, and I'm halfway across the living room when I realize what I'm hearing. It's my ringtone. The specific one I set for Casimir, the one that's supposed to be unique. But it's coming from Valerius's study. My blood turns to slush. I push open the study door. It's never locked during the day, and the ringing is louder here, insistent. It's coming from the locked room. The door I've never seen opened. And there, on Valerius's desk, is a key ring. He must have forgotten it in his rush to leave for the gallery. The ringing stops, starts again. My hands are shaking as I pick up the keys. There are 5 of them, old-fashioned and brass. The third one fits the lock. The door swings open on silent hinges. The room beyond is small, windowless, lit by a single overhead bulb. The walls are lined with shelves, and on those shelves are boxes. Shoe boxes, the expensive kind from boutique stores. Each one is labeled with a name and a date. Asterisk Margot Chen, 2008. Asterisk Svetlana Koskov, 2012. Asterisk Josephine Ma, 2019. Asterisk 7 boxes, 7 names, 7 dancers. The phone is still ringing. It's in the last box, the one labeled asterisk Isolde Sunder, 2024. Asterisk. My hands don't feel like my own as I lift the lid. Inside is a phone. My phone, the one I thought I'd been texting Casimir on. Beside it is another phone. The real one with Casimir's actual messages still on the screen. Asterisk Isolde. Please respond. I'm worried. It's been 3 days. 3 days. 3 days. But I just saw him. Just talked to him. Except I didn't. I talked to someone pretending to be him. Someone who had my phone, who'd been reading every message, who set up the meeting, and the other items in the box come into focus slowly, like a photograph developing. A pair of point shoes, pink satin, my size. A program from my last performance. A lock of hair, dark and curled, tied with red ribbon. And beneath it all, a folder. I open it with numb fingers. Inside are photographs. Me, sleeping. Me in the bathroom. Me doing my secret exercises in the middle of the night. And beneath those, older photos. The other dancers, in similar rooms, similar positions, similar stages of trust and terror. And on the last page, in Valerius's elegant handwriting, asterisk timeline for Isolde. Week 12. Introduce isolation. Week 16. Begin psychological dependence. Week 20. Transport to estate. Today is week 19. The apartment door opens. Footsteps in the hall, familiar and measured. Isolde. I'm home early. The gallery was tedious. I'm still holding the folder. Still standing in the forbidden room, with its boxes of dead girls, and its evidence of everything I've suspected, and worse, so much worse. Isolde. Closer now. In the study. I turn, and Valerius is standing in the doorway. He's not smiling anymore. His face is calm, almost serene, and that's somehow more terrifying than rage would be. He looks at the open box, at the folder in my hands, at me standing here, surrounded by the truth of what he is. "Oh, darling," he says softly, "you weren't supposed to see this yet." The folder slips from my fingers. It doesn't matter anymore. The evidence, the photographs, the careful timeline of my destruction. He's standing between me and the door, and the apartment suddenly feels like what it always was, a beautifully decorated cage. "I was going to wait another week," Valerius says, stepping into the room. His voice is still gentle, still that cultured purr that once made me feel cherished. "You were responding so well to the program, but perhaps this is better. No more pretense." My hand finds the edge of the desk. The wood is solid beneath my palm, real, and I use it to steady myself. The other girls, what happened to them? They left. He moves closer, and I notice for the first time how his footsteps make no sound on the hardwood. When they stopped being interesting. When they broke too completely or not enough. "You're different, Isolde. You have such exquisite resilience." The wheelchair is across the room. He's positioned himself so I'd have to go through him to reach it. My legs are trembling, from standing too long, from fear, from the rage building in my chest like a scream. "The accident," I say. "You were there. I arranged it." Simple, factual, as if he's telling me about the weather. Not the crash itself. That was unfortunate timing. But I made sure you were in that specific car, on that specific route. I needed you vulnerable, dependent. The injury was a gift, really. It made everything so much easier. Something cold settles in my stomach. All those months of pain, of fighting to walk again, of believing I was broken, he orchestrated it. He watched me suffer and called it love. Casimir, I whisper. Valerius laughs, soft and indulgent. Your earnest little therapist. He's been useful, so concerned, so protective. He made you feel safe enough to stay, didn't he? Every time you doubted me, there he was, a reminder that someone normal could care about you, that you weren't completely alone. The room tilts. You've been using him. I've been using everyone, darling. That's what people like me do. We find the broken things and we reshape them. He's close enough now that I can smell his cologne, that expensive scent that used to make me feel sophisticated. And you are so beautifully broken. My hand closes around something on the desk. Heavy, metal, a letter opener, ornate and sharp. I'm not broken, I say. I drive the blade toward his chest. He catches my wrist easily, too fast, impossibly fast. His fingers are cold, and his grip doesn't hurt so much as it simply stops all movement, all possibility of movement. There it is, he murmurs, and now he's smiling again. That fire. That's what I fell in love with, you know. Not the fragile dancer in the wheelchair. The woman underneath who refused to give up. I try to pull away. His grip tightens. The gala is in 3 days, he says. You're going to attend with me. You're going to sit in your chair and smile, and let everyone see how devoted I am to my tragic, beautiful companion. And afterward, we're going to leave the city. I have a house in the mountains. Very private, very remote. No more Casimir. No more distractions. Just us. No. Yes. He takes the letter opener from my hand, sets it gently on the desk, because the alternative is that I call the police and show them the security footage of you breaking into my private office, destroying my property, threatening me with a weapon. Who do you think they'll believe? The respected art dealer, or the unstable former dancer with a history of pain medication dependency? The medication, the pills he's been giving me, always so concerned about my pain levels, always making sure I took them with food, building a paper trail of addiction that never existed. You can't keep me here. I already have, darling, for 19 weeks. He releases my wrist, steps back. Now, let's get you back to your chair. You've been standing too long. You'll hurt yourself. The concern in his voice is perfect, practiced. I've heard it 1,000 times, and I never questioned it until now. I don't move toward the wheelchair. Isolde, warning now, gentle but firm. Don't be difficult. My legs are shaking so hard I can barely stand, but I take a step, not toward the chair. Toward the door. Stop. I take another step. The pain is excruciating, shooting up from my hip through my spine, but I've danced through worse. I've performed on stress fractures and torn muscles and exhaustion so complete I couldn't remember my own name. Pain is just sensation. It can't stop me unless I let it. Isolde, you're going to fall. Then I'll fall. I make it to the doorway, past him, into the study. My vision is blurring at the edges, my body screaming that this is too much, too far, but I keep moving, down the hall, toward the front door. He doesn't follow. He doesn't need to. We both know I can't run, can barely walk. The apartment building has an elevator that requires a key card. The street below is empty at this hour. Even if I made it outside, where would I go? I reach the door anyway, my hand on the lock. "I'll give you a choice," Valerius says from behind me. He's still in the study, still calm. "Come back now, and we'll forget this happened. Or leave, and I'll make sure everyone knows what you really are. The desperate, delusional dancer who seduced a man for his money and then tried to blackmail him when he lost interest. I have months of documentation. Emails you don't remember sending. Texts. Witnesses who'll swear you were unstable, manipulative, dangerous." My hand trembles on the lock. "You have no proof of anything I've done," he continues. "Just paranoid theories and a folder of photographs that could mean anything. But I have proof of everything you are. Every weakness, every fear, every moment you trusted me enough to let me see the real you. If you walk out that door, I will destroy you." I open it anyway. The hallway is bright and cold and empty. My legs give out on the threshold, and I fall hard, catching myself on my hands. The impact jolts through my wrists, my shoulders, but I'm out. I'm outside the apartment. Behind me, Valerius sighs. 3 days, Isolde. The gala. Be there or I start making calls. The door closes softly. I crawl to the elevator. My phone still in the apartment. My wallet. My keys. Everything I need to actually escape. But I have Casimir's business card in my pocket, the one he gave me months ago with his personal cell written on the back. The elevator requires a key card I don't have. The stairs, then 12 floors. I start crawling. By the 3rd floor I'm crying. By the 6th I'm not sure I can feel my legs anymore. By the 9th I'm laughing. Because this is absurd, this is impossible, and I'm doing it anyway. The lobby is empty. The doorman is away from his post. I drag myself across the marble floor, leaving marks, leaving evidence, leaving pieces of the person I was in that apartment. Outside, the night air hits me like a baptism, cold and clean and real. I use a payphone, didn't know they still existed, and call Casimir's number. He answers on the first ring. "Isolde, I need you to come get me," I say. My voice doesn't sound like mine. "I need you to come right now." 20 minutes later, his car pulls up. He's out before it fully stops, kneeling beside me on the sidewalk where I've been sitting, shaking, watching the entrance to Valerius's building. "What happened? Are you hurt? Should I call an ambulance? Just take me away from here," I whisper. "Please, just drive." He lifts me carefully, like I'm made of glass, and settles me in the passenger seat. As we pull away, I look back once at the building, at the lit window 12 floors up, where Valerius is probably watching, where he's been watching all along. I don't look back again. Casimir drives in silence until we're across the bridge, until the city lights are behind us and the road ahead is dark and open. Then he pulls over, turns to me, and waits. I tell him everything. When I'm finished, he's quiet for a long moment. Then, "The gala, you're not going." "I have to." No, firm, final. "You don't have to do anything he says ever again. We'll go to the police." With what evidence? He's right. I have nothing but theories and a folder of photographs that could mean anything. He has months of documentation that I'm unstable, dependent, dangerous. Casimir's hands tighten on the steering wheel. Then what do we do? I look out at the darkness beyond the windshield, at the road stretching away from everything Valerius built around me. We disappear, I say, before the gala, before he expects it. Just gone. Where? Anywhere. Everywhere. It doesn't matter. I can feel something loosening in my chest, some knot I've been carrying for so long. I forgot it was there. I've spent 19 weeks in a cage. I want to see sky. He starts the engine again. Then let's go see sky. We drive through the night, and I don't sleep. I watch the darkness give way to dawn, watch the landscape change from city to suburb to open country. My legs ache. My hands are scraped and bruised. Every part of me hurts. I've never felt more alive.